Hey, this is Zazabu from Elevate, and you're about to watch Table of Content, which is streamed live on Twitch. We'd love to see you live, so come by every Sunday at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Visit elevatestreams.com for more information. Welcome to Table of Content, the Elevate Community Roundtable, where we discuss all the things happening around streaming, gaming, entertainment. We're joined this week by Ghostfighter X1, and we're joined once again by the always up late official Rogue, as well as Elevate's newest content creator, Red Baron himself, Eminent Stump. How are you guys doing this evening?
We are doing well.
Excellent.
How about you?
I am well. I am better than I deserve. I had to make sure I muted my stream there. So, Rogue, how are you? Are you holding up? Burning the midnight oil?
It's late.
It's late. So, quickly, tell us about your role in the community, Ghost.
I'm sorry, I'm having technical difficulties.
That's
everything just went away.
So you guys are familiar with Rogue and Eminent Stump. They were here last week, but as you heard, Stump was not a streamer or a content creator. But this week, he and I filmed a YouTube video called Red Baron Private Detective. Stump, you want to tell us a little bit about the experience of starring in your first YouTube video?
Well, it was actually quite exciting. I mean, it's something I think I've kind of always wanted to get into a little bit, and a little bit of film noir is always good for you, right?
Yeah, and I tell you, it was a lot of fun sitting with you and doing the voiceovers and and doing the editing yesterday. That was a lot of fun.
I'm looking forward to episode 2. Yeah,
me too. We discussed several things today. We've got for upcoming drama. So, Ghost, tell us about your role with the community.
All right. So, my role with the community is, of course, I'm Ghostfighter X1. I am in charge of the UX UI for Elevate Content. Do you plan to be back to streaming soon?
Good. Real soon. How soon is soon?
Just about have everything fully set up. I know but I keep postponing other things coming more importance, but
you are busy with work. I do know that.
Yes.
Rogue, you're going to be back to streaming soon as well, right? You have a move coming up.
Mm-hmm. So I'm moving back to where I moved from, just because there's a better deal up there. There's more friends. I don't really have friends. No, down here anyway. At least I just prefer. I've got sort of like a living by myself thing going on up north, so hopefully
excellent
I can get some good content out.
So then you can go berserk all night long, right?
Very yes.
Awesome. So Ghost, what is UX UI? Could you explain that a little more? What your role is?
Yeah, so if you're not aware, UX UI is user experience, user interface, it's graphics. So all the designs of the logos, the layouts, and everything else like that.
So what you're looking at right here on screen is actually Ghost design, as well as the logos that are on there as well that you see. And thank you guys for all the bits and subs and that hype train that's going on. We appreciate that very much. Red Fox, thank you for the resub, and anybody else that I may have missed. Ghostfighter, I saw you resubbed as well as myself. So let's jump right into some streaming news. I thought this was a really interesting one. So there's a streamer called we've hit level 3 on the hype train, guys. That's excellent. Bring that hype, Rogue. So there's a streamer, and I think I'm pronouncing this right. It's Zexro or Zero with an X in the middle. He was suspended for 7 days by Twitch for self-harm. So apparently what had happened is he had 2 monsters while he was on stream, and he joked about a third monster being able to... Geek Stuff OG, thank you for the sub, dude. Very much appreciated. So he drank a third monster while on stream after explaining that it could make you very sick, and he was banned. Well, not banned, but suspended for 7 days. He makes the claim that he was joking, and it was evident by his friend in the background who was kind of exaggerating and acting all crazy about him drinking the third monster. But he immediately appealed and made the made the claim that the third monster was actually just a refilled can with water in it. And Twitch actually apparently did the right thing and lifted the ban after about 3 days. So we're seeing things maybe turn around a little bit with the way they're responding to some of these bans that are coming out. But my question for you guys is, first off, Rogue, are you worried about drinking too much Sneak on stream?
Yeah, I mean, Sneak itself, it comes with a warning on the thing. Well, it's not warning, it's a guideline, which says not to drink more than 2 a day, which is completely, acceptable. But what Sneak doesn't tell you, what it means is, one scoop fills about half of it. Now I fill one scoop to the top, as most people probably do.
Mm-hmm.
That counts as half. So you
Ah.
can technically have 4.
Oh,
It only means like if it's condensed in that lower half. So you only have,
interesting.
like 2 of them. So I don't really rarely drink up to 4. I probably drink 2 at most
Yeah.
a day.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever had more than 2.
It just gives you all the energy you need.
Yeah, that's right. So, and we are not in any way affiliated with Sneak. We just like it. So what do you think about the bans that we've been seeing for things that happen on stream, and in some cases Twitch completely ignoring the pleas for months? Stump, what is your take on that from a viewer standpoint?
I mean, to me, it sounds kind of ridiculous that you want to try and moderate someone's content so much that you're going to monitor what they're drinking on stream. It seems like more than an overreach to me, personally. But I mean, like Rogue said, the container has a warning on it. Shouldn't that serve as the person's necessary warning for whatever the beverage is, or maybe something else? I mean, we have guidelines or warnings on pretty much anything these days.
Sure, but I mean, Twitch, you would think, kind of has a liability, kind of like when they have streamers that will do really, really long streams and fall asleep on stream because of the streamer well-being. They don't necessarily want that happening, so they want you to avoid that by not putting in these long streams. Ghost, do you have any thoughts on the matter?
Oh, absolutely. So like, as far as the whole ban process for this person in general, I mean, I actually went back and watched the video
Mhm.
and of the reason why he got banned, or suspended rather.
Right.
Which I don't believe that they should have lifted it. Just because, I mean, if you stick to something, stick to it. Don't. There's no good behavior or anything else like that. But like, he actually ended up getting sick on stream because
He
he
did.
drank too much, and he didn't try to leave his stream or anything else like that. I mean, it was dark. I think he
Mhm.
turned off. I think he turned off his ring light or whatever. But he continued to throw up on stream and had no desire to end stream or anything else like that. And for him to go to so much extreme for a little bit more clout, I I don't see as that being a good thing. I mean, I drink Monster. I'm drinking one right now.
Right.
But I mean, and that actually says limit of I think 4 in one 24-hour period. But I mean, I drink quite a few of them. But I'm not going to disclose how many I drink. But I know what my limit is. But as far as throwing up, I've never thrown up because I drink too much Monster
Right.
or
Now,
any other type of energy drink.
so the way I understand it was he said that he drank too much liquid and that caused him to get sick. Do you buy that, guys? I mean,
I mean, you can throw up from too much liquid. I mean,
Mhm.
that's why it's not good to drink even a gallon of water in one sitting because
Right.
that's way too much liquid. You will throw up. It's just, I mean, he filled the third can with water. That's, I
Do
don't
you
know.
buy that? Do you buy that story, or do you think that was backtracking? No, I mean, it's Stump. You're shaking your head. No.
I'm sorry. What's the ounces on Can of Monster? You have one there handy, right?
16.
Okay,
16?
so it's
Start at 2,
1
40.
pint. Yeah, so it's not even a half a gallon, which is a good bit. But I mean, how long did he drink it over? Maybe the course of an hour. You're not talking about a volume issue for liquid.
Sure.
There may be sugar, there may be a few other issues there, but we're not talking about volume being a problem.
Right. All right. So moving on. This is an interesting story. It came from Wired. That after 9 years, the content that sort of hardcore gamers don't necessarily care for, it's kind of taken the top spot on Twitch. Just chatting. I know we're in the talk shows and podcasts category, but I think we're probably considered to be part of the Twitch economy. So Stream Elements reported that in December, 81 million hours of just chatting were watched live on Twitch. And I don't know if you guys know this or not, but at one time, Twitch's rules actually discouraged chatting for too long during a stream, which could have actually caused a suspension. So with that sort of shift happening, Eminent Stump, as a viewer of content specifically, which kind of experience do you enjoy the most? And sort of what's your take on that becoming the strongest section on the site?
I'm not too surprised, to be honest. I mean, some of my favorite streams that I've gotten to watch, I can think of one in particular not too long ago. It was actually Geek OG's stream. There was a number of us in the stream just chatting for him, and the rest of us got to interact with him a lot, and it was just such a fun time that
Right.
I don't know why they would really kind of want to discourage people from that kind of content or anything like that. And personally, I'm a fan of it.
I mean, I think they've adapted as time has gone on, and they actually embrace it now. But
you would have to.
Some more hardcore gamers are the ones that sort of poo-poo it and don't necessarily stand behind it. Rogue, you've done a talk show on your channel. What are your thoughts on the just chatting category?
Well, I had mine listed up in podcasts and talk shows, like everything, and it's hard work doing a talk show podcast because you got to think about things to talk about, and I just didn't have the time, or it didn't look like my viewers were particularly into that sort of content. I did, however, do a couple of just chatting streams, which.
Mm-hmm.
With the views, it doesn't surprise me because I get a lot more traffic coming through. People don't really stick in just chatting unless your just chatting is really good.
Right.
Then they don't stick. But like I've had people come in. I did a before pre-match or pre-boxing match fight kind of thing with KS Idler versus Logan Paul, and that had probably my second or third biggest amount of people that's ever come through my channel, but that's not anywhere near like my most followed stream.
Right.
My most talked in stream at all. Like they come in and they just sit there and watch, and
right.
But it's just chatting, and like I can chat to the camera for ages, but it's basically just doing a lecture about who's gonna win or who's looking like the better fighter. Which I kind of try and stem away from, just because I prefer to have like an audience that comes in and talks. I mean, I manage to get some people to talk, but it is people literally just sit there watching you. You can ask them what they think; they will not reply. You can even check like who's in the chat, and they will they will not reply unless I've had I think it was. Someone put in the chat, are you going to stream the event live? Which I can't. It's illegal for me to stream the event
Obviously.
live. I would get taken down. But then, like, you get other people just that's literally all the questions they ask, and I don't. It's sort of like I know it's probably on my type on the particular type of video I was doing, but I feel like people who do just chatting. I mean, you're not going to get like people to stick. There may be more people viewing it because it's people talking to people,
Right.
but like you need them to take them through like a story, a campaign, if you will,
Gotcha.
to sort of befriend them and sort of talk them through it, because that's that's what makes like let's plays the fun of it, especially live let's plays. You can talk to the person,
Right.
like, oh, how did you beat this? Oh, you beat like this and do this, and then you talk to them. That's how you gain not just a follower but a friend.
That's right. So with just chatting, you're saying, it's more, you need that interaction for those just chattings. And you mentioned people asking about where are you going to stream it live, and I've seen some just chatting streams where some streamers that I watch play games will just sit back and watch a TV show. What is your take on that, Ghost, as far as people just sitting back and actually streaming content that it's not theirs on their streams in just chatting?
So what you're saying is that they'll just like turn on a TV show and they'll just watch
Yeah,
it and not
exactly.
interact with their chat?
Oh, they will interact with their chat.
Okay. So like I don't know, like, I mean, you can have just chatting, but you have to, as long as you're interacting with your chat. I mean, you can. It's like hanging out. It's like instead of, because I mean, we're all over the world, so we can't get together and hang out. You know what? We're gonna go and watch this TV show together, things like that. You can do that on stream now. So I think that would be just fine to be able to watch TV show or whatnot. Hey, let's go hang out. And if somebody new pops into the stream, you know what? Come on, more the merrier.
Excellent. Okay. So I thought this was an interesting piece, and this kind of ties in with Twitch sort of moving towards the just chatting category. Facebook gaming actually grew the fastest out of all the platforms this past month in stream hours watched. It rose 8.5% on top of its current viewership for all streaming hours watched on its platform. Twitch, while it lost market share somewhat to Facebook, actually did increase its total hours watched, but mainly because of the momentum gained by just chatting. So, Ghost, you've taken a while off from streaming, and you're kind of coming back to all these big streamers having jumped ship, people moving around. Have you considered making any kind of a move to another platform at all? Or are you coming back solely to Twitch?
I'm coming back to Twitch. That's where I think our community is. That's where, I mean, we have a really good community going on here. And yeah, we can take it over to Mixer, we can take it over to DLive, Facebook Gaming, and all that. But we originated on Twitch, and I like Twitch for that. Now, as far as Mixer and all that, or actually Facebook Gaming, since that's what we're talking about, I think Facebook Gaming grew so fast, in my personal opinion, because it's so easy to get to. As far
accessible.
as far as it's right there on your phone, you're already on Facebook. Somebody posts a video, you watch that video, and then you just get an endless loop of watching videos, and you come across people playing games on there, and you just get lost in it. It's, oh wow, all right. And mind you, this is part of the community poo time. as what I mean, that's whenever I get lost in Facebook videos and just sit there
Right.
watch for hours, minutes. No.
Well, and I know Facebook's kind of made it their mission to move more into that market. Justin Raged V2, thank you so much for that sub. We appreciate it, buddy. So Rogue, I know that you have some plans that you probably can't talk about. They're redacted. But have you considered Facebook at all for some of your streams?
I'll say for now that it is definitely on the agenda. Facebook and all sorts of sort of like Instagram, all sorts of social media. I aim to target but particularly with Facebook, because Facebook, everyone has a Facebook account. There is not one person I know that even my grandma has a Facebook account.
Right.
And she uses it very often to comment on my pictures, telling me how she doesn't recognize me anymore.
You're so handsome.
It's very cringe. But like Facebook, and there's something that I've just like realized is a powerhouse at the end of the day. It's the social media powerhouse. There isn't a single other social media platform that compares to Facebook. Facebook has its
Right.
fingertips everywhere, and what they've done with the game, and they've gone in with this game and idea, and they're doing everything they can to sort of be the central hub for literally everything. Sort of going live wise, like they introduced like video sharing and stuff like that, and it introduced like this Facebook game in. I know that, well, for a fact rather, that I don't know if you guys know who Corinna Kopf is, but she does videos a lot with David Dobrik, if you know who that is. He's quite a popular YouTuber, and she has signed an agreement with Facebook, only streaming exclusively on Facebook Gaming, which is a good, like, it's like what DLive did with PewDiePie, to sort of bring people over to there. Corinna
Mhm.
Kopf is obviously associated with David Dobrik, so people who love David Dobrik know who she is and want to watch her on Facebook Gaming, which they're sort of picking and choosing their targets, which is not only smart, but will at least provide quality to the Facebook Gaming content. It is easier, so there will be more streamers, and streamers that don't necessarily, for lack of a better word, care about how their sort of thing looks. To just pop it up and all that stuff, and it sort of lowers it down quite a bit, because I know a method that Facebook use for trying to get people to
Mhm.
watch the streams is by putting it just under a video that you wanted to watch. So
Oh.
when that video ends, it sort of goes, "Oh, hey, here's someone streaming a game you might like." And it's sort of like, well, I don't want to watch that. So you scroll down and sort of like, it's sort of like, for a split second, it kind of gets you, because technically you're now watching that video, so that could contribute to the numbers. But it does kind of not force it upon you, but sort of plays it in with the rest of your videos. So if you watch a video, there'll be at least 4 or 5 streamers in that auto playlist that will pop up.
Right.
Um,
So it seems to me like they have more avenues to kind of draw people in, because people are on Facebook for other things. Eminent Stump, have you watched any? I know you use Facebook regularly enough. Have you watched any live streams on Facebook, or have you come across those ads sort of trying to draw you in?
I haven't actually watched any of them live on Facebook. I have seen a few things pop up, but I haven't actually taken the time. I didn't really know if the quality of it would be there, or what kind of system they had in place for it. I think it's a pretty clever stroke by them to try and include something like that.
Yeah.
But personally, it hasn't grabbed me yet. Although, like Rogue said, I'm sure I've kind of skimmed through a video and gotten counted whether or not I was going to watch it or not. So,
right. So if there's anybody out there that is interested in learning to stream, and you're thinking about Twitch or Facebook or whatever, and you're not really sure how to get started, check out our community Discord. If I can get an exclamation point Discord or Elevate in the chat. And we can help you. We have lots of people that have a lot of know-how, and we'd be happy to help you get started. So let's move on to some gaming news. This is kind of what our title was about, the new and cutting-edge gaming technology. So we've seen a lot of hype about the next gen of consoles coming out. Everything's looking like it's going to be moving more towards cloud gaming, cloud streaming of games. The traditional sort of console looks like it might be going away. But there are some interesting new mobile gaming devices that are coming out. There are multiple companies that are rolling out hardware that's kind of in the vein of the Nintendo Switch, which is obviously wildly popular. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this right, but Xiaomi has a $600 device coming out called the Black Shark 2 Pro that sports liquid cooling and detachable controllers, just like the Switch. Alienware also has a console coming out that can actually dock with your computer as well. And then Razer has, it's not a console, but it's a almost like a Switch-like controller that attaches to either an Android phone or an iPhone. As somebody who travels a lot for work, Stump, are you interested in any of these mobile consoles, or would you kind of go for a more old faithful brand like a Nintendo Switch?
I honestly would probably stick with a more tried and true technology there. I mean, I've been wrong before. I didn't think the Switch was going to catch on anywhere near the way it did.
Yeah.
I thought, hey, they're trying to merge their console gaming and their mobile gaming of the Game Boy together, and they're going to end up shooting themselves in the foot and destroying one market or the other for themselves. And frankly, I don't think that's what we've seen. But if I'm going to go with one, I would probably go with something like that, because I don't know that I would trust a newer, untried system. And frankly, are they going to have access to all the games that I enjoy playing? What are they going to have? What kind of content are we looking at?
Yeah, that was kind of my question, is, what's going to be available on these platforms? Will the Alienware console have access to Steam, that kind of thing? Rogue, are you interested in mobile gaming at all? I know you play some things on your cell phone. Would you be interested in any of these consoles?
I have actually, because the first game in phone, first proper game phone I noticed was the ROG phone, the ROG, Wicked Gaming, and they brought out the first a Mark 1 and a Mark 2, and the attachment for that thing is crazy. Like, they've got like dual screens for it, they've got controllers, they've got things that you can clap onto the side, they've got like a dock for it that makes it a proper like computer with a little keyboard. They've got like loads of stuff for it. So as in terms of mobile gaming, I see a lot of potential for it, because a lot of people just enjoy playing mobile games and doing all that stuff. I play a lot of Clash of Clans, because I used to play it loads. I got addicted. I stopped for ages, and now I'm back on it because I like to jump ahead of the trends. But whether I would buy something like that, like the Switch, to me, like I've never wanted a Switch. I would always stick with a PS4 or an Xbox if I wanted to go console. If I had the money for a Switch, then I would. But like, why make something that's worth 200 or plus, like even going to £600 or dollars? If you guys remember the PS Vita,
Yeah.
that thing's not worth anything, and it does exactly the same thing. It's not got detachable. It's just handheld. It's a little game, and it had, because it was PS, it had titles, it had stuff that people wanted to play. It was cheap and cost effective. Pretty much everyone who was on the move quite regularly had a PS Vita, and the fact that it could link now with your PS4 or your PS3, it's just like, you can sync whatever to it. But the fact that I think the reason why the Switch was a success was because they pushed all the titles onto it. They pushed Smash Bros onto it. They pushed Zelda onto it, and they pushed Pokemon onto it. Which anyone who wants to buy it's like, if I have a Wii now, I can't play the latest games on a Wii. I can't play the latest games on a Wii U. I can't play the latest games on a Nintendo 3DS. But I have to buy the Switch because the titles are exclusively not to Nintendo, but on the Switch. So that's why everyone wants a Switch, because the Switch came with a popular game that the kid might like, which is a big reason why I think the Switch was popular. I mean, you're basically buying a console, a controller, and a flat screen TV all in one.
Yeah.
And like, why? This is no need for that expensive. I get you can plug it in and put it on the TV, but like, and that's a really cool feature.
Yeah.
Like, what? First of all, why have it that big? I mean, you could make a small, like the PS Vita size. Again, go back to PS Vita. It's not a piece of kit. I want one. I've had one before it broke, but that was due to me tossing it around a lot. But like, I would much rather save money and buy a PS Vita that has titles than buy this 600 quid Shark Dark Blade 2.
Yeah.
That will probably have no titles for it, because especially if it's brand new company, they haven't got no game titles. They won't be able to get exclusives or anything like that. Nintendo has exclusives. PS4 has exclusives. Xbox has exclusives. They won't really be able to buy any exclusives, just purely because everyone will be like, oh, but I wanted to play that on this, and they can't because it's an exclusive on that, so they have to buy that to play the only game they like.
Could this be an opportunity, though, for a smaller developer to maybe partner up with them and put their name on the map by making an exclusive game for one of these consoles? Ghost, what are your thoughts on that?
Um, I'm not a fan of them. I mean, they could. Oh, it's kind of like what Rogue said, is that they don't have exclusives. And for me personally, I don't see myself buying another console. I have a PC and everything's going.
Mhm.
What's that? What am I trying to say? That the word where it's cross-platform. There you go.
Right.
And so there's a lot of games that are going cross-platform, and the games that I actually play a lot of are cross-platform, and they're also on every single type of media out there.
Right.
So if you play nothing but exclusive games, then you're gonna stick with that one brand. Now, if they come out with an amazing game that's exclusive to their little handheld console, then they might have a lot of people buying it.
Right.
But for $600, I don't see it. I don't see it working out.
Yeah, the price point on that one just seems to kind of put it out of at least my ballpark. I can tell you that.
Oh yeah.
Having traveled a lot for work, though, I do enjoy my Nintendo Switch for those long car rides when I'm not driving. I'm sure Stump doesn't appreciate it when I'm ignoring him while he's trying to stay awake and driving because I'm playing Zelda.
Yeah.
But,
Hey, I got to live vicariously through you.
Yeah. I got to tell you what I was up to. So I thought this next story was pretty interesting. So Warner Brothers Montreal, or WB Montreal, has released 3 photos across their social media profiles that actually, when put together, make up a crest from the Gotham PD badge, with most of the pictures having the caption "Capture the Night." The company has released some other teasers for this seemingly upcoming Batman game that they're going to be putting out. But some gamers are kind of starting to rumble that they want whatever the game is that they have in the pipeline to kind of be revealed, and they're starting to, I guess, have a little bit of backlash from it, as well as there's lots of, I guess, theories going around about what the game could be about. Rogue, what are you looking for in a new Batman game? Is that something that you're interested in?
I'm not really a DC guy. I'm going to say it right now. I'm Marvel through and through. It doesn't mean to say I don't appreciate DC. I do like Batman quite a lot, and some of the Batman games I have briefly played are quite good.
Mhm.
Whereas I don't particularly like DC, I do know a little bit about them, and the kind of Capture the Night sort of seems to either resemble one of these scenarios where Batman goes absolutely insane and starts murdering people, which I think will be a good concept for a game. I
Sure.
don't know how they'll play it. For me, it feels like, I don't know if anyone's a Halo fan here, but it feels like Halo 4. I think it was 4 anyway, when you had maybe 5, where you had Locke and the Master Chief going at each other, and they had a bunch of stuff detailing, like, oh, look, the Master Chief's gone rogue, oh, he's done this and he's done that, when realistically we play the game and he hasn't done any of those things. And he's just, it's perspective, like, you're just learning all this stuff from the military, and the military thought he was bad. That's why they brought in another Spartan to try and take him down. And I feel like they might go down like a similar kind of road with this. What they employ to stop Batman? I mean, because Batman can't be stopped by the police. If he is, then that's going to be really weird. It's like Batman in handcuffs. But yeah, I'm actually genuinely excited to see what they come up with. I won't be purchasing the game myself,
Mhm.
but if I do get a chance to play some sort of demo, or if my mate's a big DC fan, then I'll be sure to play it his.
Awesome. So if that concept would sort of come to fruition, where Batman's sort of gone insane and turned, maybe we could see sort of an opportunity to play as a main character, something like Dick Grayson or uh, one of the other Bat family, I guess you could call it. Ghost, who would you want to play as if you weren't actually playing as Batman in a Batman game?
Well, that's really really hard because I mean I don't know if you can see over my right shoulder, I have a Batman symbol back there. I
Yeah.
love Batman. Um, oh man, I I don't have an answer for you on that one.
Favorite villain then? Tell me who's your
Hmm.
favorite Batman villain?
Uh, the villain, I guess Scarecrow.
Scarecrow. Okay.
Yeah, and he's the worst nightmares ever. It's amazing.
Have you guys checked out the new Harley Quinn show that's on the DCU streaming service at all? No? I highly
Not
recommend it. I watched the first episode the other night, and it's definitely more for adults, but I think you would definitely enjoy it if you are a fan of Batman. So I mean, at Stump, what about you? Who would you like to see as a playable main character in a game?
I think that Damien would be a very fun character to play as.
That was my first thought.
Yeah, although Tim Drake has always been kind of an interesting Robin, but one of those two I'd be pretty happy with. So
I always think back to those fake trailers for the movie Grayson. I know, Stump. I know you've seen them, where Batman's actually been murdered and Dick Grayson's investigating, and Superman's actually working for the bad guys. And I always thought that would be an interesting game. Not saying that has anything to do with this. I'm just saying anybody's watching that's making a Batman game, I would play the crap out of that. So. And Red Fox 15 wants you possibly permaban Rogue for your anti-DC views. So I thought that this was a very interesting story. China's State Council, so we're talking about the Republic of China, has unveiled a new plan that, among other things, looks to curb gaming addictions in minors. It's kind of unclear from what their statement that they put out how they'll really tackle the issue, but the press release suggests that online games, live streaming, even short videos and educational apps will all be targets for further regulation. Ghost, you're a parent. What's your reaction to a government getting more involved in the type of content that kids are playing and taking in?
So for me, I would say that it can be a good thing. I mean, you can see both ways with this. It can be a good thing because I know when I was little, I played a lot of video games, and I started to become very overweight. I didn't go outside and play or anything else like that. All I wanted to do was go inside and play video games.
Mm-hmm.
I know on this thing they're talking about what is it, the Healthy China 2030.
Yeah.
Um, so I mean, they're just encouraging their kids to get out and play more, play outside. Is playing video games like Call of Duty. There's a lot of people that are blaming Call of Duty and PUBG and everything else like that for all these school shootings. I personally don't see the case for that. I think that's dumb because I grew up on shooting games and all these other different types of games, and granted, I'm in the army, but I don't go around shooting people and things like that
Sure.
just because I mean they stole my cookie or something. So
So how do you guys feel, Rogan Stump? Either of you can chime in. about a government actually kind of stepping in lieu of, say, the parents or the community around a child, and actually enacting like law to control the kind of content that they're taking in. That's
You wanna
for
try
either
it,
either of you.
Okay, well, I find it kind of insane that any government wants to step in and say that, hey, this is an addiction. We're gonna stop you from playing as many video games as you'd like. Now we're talking about China, so I guess I shouldn't be as surprised by this news. I mean, if it were to happen in the U.S., for instance, it would be a completely different story.
Yeah.
It being China, I guess I'm just really kind of taken aback by it, but that seems to be kind of par for the course with them. They do want to monitor, and it's almost as if as a state they say everything in moderation, and we're going to make sure that there's moderation.
Right. They're definitely more of a collectivist type of government for sure.
Yeah.
Rogue, do you have any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, want it to ban video. I mean, or limit them at least. I mean, it's not a route they should take. If anything, they should take down the route of mental health, mental care, and
Sure.
just sort of addressing these people, because that is what it stems from at the end of the day. It's all about psychology. You know, if a game would enforce you this, it's not the game's fault. It'll be the person receiving the game, and it'll be just some sort of, you know, trauma or whatnot that they have received.
I have a question in that vein. Have we classified video games as an addiction on any level?
Well, that's what I was kind of wondering too. Is like, how do you are they saying that all people that play video games are addicted to them, or is there really a way to say, okay, here are the parameters for a person that is addicted to a video game? I would imagine it's a lot like gambling.
Yeah,
in a lot of
imagine it
senses.
being considered
Drinking.
Or
I
yeah,
can imagine it being considered addictive, because I used to be addicted. I used to play video games like every day, and the fact I'm doing it now. Like, I used to play for hours on end. Like, I'm talking about 8 hours, like playing constant games. Like, that isn't healthy. I would pull it under the bracket of being, you know, an addiction. I wouldn't call it an unhealthy. Well, it's an unhealthy addiction, but I wouldn't call it as bad as, you know, say alcoholism, or, you know, being addicted to narcotics, as I shall call them, or any of that stuff. Like, it's a lot more easier to put down, especially if because gaming itself is sort of like a thing you do sort of in your past. It all stems from, like, humans themselves don't want to be bored. The worst thing we can do is be bored. So that's what we
Yeah.
want to do, is be constantly doing stuff that you know, gets our brains working, and that all slows it down, or whatever it does to the brain. We just don't want to feel like we're doing nothing. So that's how I got into it. That's how I sort of did it and all that stuff. And I can get, like, it can roll into something major, but at the end of the day, like, you don't need to limit this stuff. You need to just focus on mental health and mental care to make sure the people that are doing this can sort of, you know, it's sort of like doing a tuck and roll if you jump out of a window. You know what I mean? So it kind of
yeah.
keeps them, you know, from hitting the floor and sort of, you know.
I think back to my youth and remember people's parents and maybe even my parents. I don't remember exactly, but saying, "Oh, you're never going to go anywhere if all you do is sit and play video games, and you know, it's going to rot your mind, and you're never going to get a real job." And it's like, well, look at how the economy's changing now. Live streaming is a big deal. Video games are pretty big deal, especially with esports growing at such a rapid rate. You have to wonder, by putting these limitations on, are they stifling a future generation of content creators? You know, that's kind of what has come to my mind when I think about it. So So I thought this was very exciting, as this is a game series that I've enjoyed very much. Assassin's Creed. There's been some big leaks about the next game that's going to be coming out, Ragnarok. Um, leaks revealed that you'll be playing a Viking, and you'll have the option again to play a male or a female lead. Ragnarok's main protagonist, named Jorah, will lead a small band of fellow Vikings that will actually allow you to drop in and out of online co-op with up to 4 different players. So I don't know if that's a 4-person group or 1+4. But the game's map is essentially all of Northern Europe. It's going to include cities such as York, Paris, and London. That dynamic and kind of the large-scale wars that will take place in real time across the open world could be really, really interesting, I think. Rogue, are you planning on playing this game? And are you excited to see some familiar sights in the game?
Most definitely. I'm a big ass Assassin's Creed fan. I've been a fan from day one. I love the series. I mean, what I hope they don't do is I hope they, because this is going to be very controversial. Maybe not. Origins, I think, wasn't that good. I mean, I think it could have been a heck of a lot better. I mean, it's ancient Egypt. I love the main protagonist. I love the campaign, but after that, I didn't really entertain the thought of like going around and killing bosses and all that stuff. I think it dragged a little bit away from what the original Assassin's Creed was based on, which was the puzzles that you solved. I loved those puzzles playing as Ezio Auditore, finding the apples of Eden and all that stuff. And I like how it switched to modern day with Desmond Miles. I mean, I thought it was absolutely amazing.
Mhm.
When they made the switch, I think they made. I can't remember when they actually made the proper switch. I probably didn't actually play that particular Assassin's Creed because there was a time where I really didn't like it. I think it was ran about when they were in Assassin's Creed Syndicate. That was it. It's the one I didn't play, and I was sort of because it wasn't online; it was just an open map. And then the next one I played, I believe, was Unity, and I loved Unity. I like the whole
Mhm.
Paris theme. I like the multiplayer with the 4 guys you can have, and they're all different people. It's not just having the same guy multiple times. You get like they all have their own specialities.
Sure.
You go complete missions together, and I love Norse mythology. I love the Norse culture in any shape or form. Vikings, love it. And the fact that we'll be able to play, because for me, Assassin and Viking are 2 of the greatest words you can probably ever say in the same sentence. So, like, thinking of that, like, because the Vikings were pretty rough people, they would go
Yeah.
and pillage and the other thing, um, which is what I will not say. But like, they would do all that, and then you've got like this, other side because the assassins are going to be all like stealthy and all that stuff. I liked in Origins how they introduced sort of the start of the Order thing.
Mhm.
And I like how they got the Assassin's Creed emblem. I thought it was a very nice touch. I think they did well with the campaign of the game. I thought they did really well with that. What they called it originally, I didn't necessarily like. I can't remember. I think it was something like the Bureau of Disguise or something like. I can't remember what it was, but it was something stupid like that. And I was like, just call it. I like how they refer to the Creed and all this stuff. If you haven't played it already, I'm sorry, I am slightly spoiling it. But like, it was a very, I enjoyed the campaign. I just didn't like all like the add-on bits. I mean, I think they could have done it a bit better, like how they did it in the original Assassin's Creed, where you go around and you're able to do like puzzles and tasks and all that stuff. It wasn't all this sort of going around finding these blocks. I think they're called architects. I can't remember what they're called. The constructs, the people with the triple helix DNA, and like just finding them and defeating like creatures. Because North mythology is full of creatures. The same with
Sure.
ancient Egypt, and that's how they bring these monsters in. This sort of like uh, irregularities or experiments gone wrong, which I sort of like and I sort of get behind. But for me, I wasn't really a big fan of it. I'm I'm a hardcore Assassin's Creed fan, and I do like the old days. And I wish they took some of the olden days, some of the the good stuff that made the old games good,
Hmm.
bring it into Viking just for this one. But I can't wait to see the game, and yes, I will definitely be playing it.
It sounds like it. I'm interested to see with the fact that you can form sort of a little raiding party. Will there be any kind of I guess mechanic for setting up settlements with other players or things like that, so that maybe you could do some raiding of other settlements. Eminent Stump, I know you play 7 Days Ghost, you do as well, and there's plenty of raiding that goes on in 7 Days to Die. Is that a feature you'd like to see, and what are your thoughts on the new game that we see coming out?
Well, I've got to give it to them. With the Assassin's Creed group, they always seem to innovate, and I always think they're kind of going in a weird direction, but it works. And it's not a game I've really played much of. I've played a little here and there, and I think every one of them has been installed on my system because my brother is a huge fan. He's played all of them, and recently my wife's gotten into them and play all of them, and they catch me. I always find myself paying attention to the storyline when they're playing, and I'm like, wow, this is good. I think that raiding and the Vikings, I think it's a weird step personally for them to go that way. Although I find it intriguing. I find myself a little more likely to watch or play, and introducing a party mechanic with other players, great idea. The ability to interact with other players and raid them, solid ideas. I mean, I think that game's going to be immensely popular.
Yeah, I can't imagine that it wouldn't be. Ghost, are you a fan of the series?
I like every single trailer that they come out with.
Mm-hmm.
It always makes it look like a really good game, and I'm pretty sure it is. I've played the first couple, and every single time that I see a new trailer, it's like, oh man, I need to check that one. That one looks really awesome. I never end up doing it. I ain't gonna lie, because when I was playing the first couple of them, they just seem repetitive.
Right.
And it's like, all right, do this over again. Do this over again. And it's like, oh, well, I'm not a big fan of that. But I don't know. It's as far as for them to go the Viking route, I think that's pretty cool because I was always fascinated with Vikings.
Yeah, and in a more open setting with multiplayer, is that something that would maybe draw you in a little bit more?
Oh, absolutely.
Awesome.
To be able to play with other people, your friends, and everything, it makes the game so much better.
Yeah,
Any
it pretty
game
much
better.
makes every. Yeah, exactly. So we're gonna move on to entertainment news, and I'm very excited to talk about this first one. So everybody's favorite wrestler / actor, The Rock, will be starring in a new show called Young Rock, based on his life. And the series is going to track the WWE star turned movie star in his formative years, with The Rock slated to appear in every single episode of the series. I know in the past The Rock has played his father in things, so I'm wondering if maybe he will play his dad in this one. For those of you that maybe aren't familiar with wrestling, his father was also a pro wrestler, as well as some of his cousins, uncles, etc. So Johnson is going to serve as an executive producer alongside, and I hope I'm saying this right, and if you're watching, I'm very sorry if I butcher your name, but it's Nahnatchka Khan, who created a series called Fresh Off the Boat. And there have already been 11 episodes ordered of the show, so I'm very, very excited about that. Stump, so do you smell what The Rock is cooking on this one, and is this something you'll be tuning in for?
You know it. I gotta say, I'm a little surprised that we're going down this route with someone. I mean, he is a very interesting person and character. I'm a little surprised we're gonna already. I mean, he's not that old. He's still involved in so many things. He's still such a big star.
Right.
But I guess, hey, that's get him while he's still hot. I'm definitely going to watch it. Do we know how long the episode? Like 30-minute episodes, hour long?
From what I read, they said single camera show, so I'm assuming it's a sitcom. So I'm guessing 30 minutes, but that's purely a guess.
It seems like an odd topic for a sitcom. I will have to admit that. I mean, at what point are they going to be completely manufacturing any kind of life details about The Rock, or at what point do we run out of hey, what are you cooking in there jokes?
Yeah. That's true. So official Rogue, will you be tuning in to try to find out what The Rock's got cooking?
I mean, I thought that'd definitely be interesting because The Rock does interest me as a guy because he's tried it all. I mean, at one point he tried his hand in comedy, which didn't actually go down well. He did it in a night. I can't remember what the show was called, but he did a night with Jamie Foxx, Steve Harvey, and another guy I don't know the name of. But both Jamie Foxx died on his ass, and so did Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Only Steve Harvey really actually got the crowd. But like, I'm sort of interested. I mean, the only Dwayne I know is an asshole. But I don't know. If you watch Rolfing, you'll understand what I mean. But yeah, I'm definitely curious to find out what The Rock is cooking and if it is macaroni and cheese.
It may be. So Ghost, I know you you and I are the same age roundabout, and kind of came up watching television, specifically wrestling, when The Rock was pretty hot. How do you feel about him jumping from wrestling to the big screen and then now back to the small screen?
Oh, he's doing just fine.
Yeah.
I mean, when he was wrestling, I mean, every big wrestler comes to an end. Their time has come to an end. And his time wrestling, yeah, he's no longer cooking with wrestling. He's made really good, funny TV shows or movies rather, and then now he's going to TV shows. Well, let's see what it's about. I mean, I'm not a big fan of watching TV shows anymore, but I don't know. I may tune in for an episode or two, and if it catches my eye, then I might be watching it.
Cool. So we were talking about Batman a little while ago, guys, and this story kind of caught my eye. I don't know if you guys are familiar with Burt Ward, but he actually played Robin in the 1960s series of Batman. And both Batman and Robin are getting Hollywood stars on the Walk of Fame. So Burt Ward will be getting his personal star next to Adam West, who was placed there, I want to say probably something almost like 8 years ago, which was actually, so you have to be nominated to have your star put there and kind of lobbied for. And I know Kevin Smith, of Jay and Silent Bob fame, one of his podcast partners that he does a podcast with called Hollywood Babylon. They sort of lobbied to get Adam West placed on the Hollywood Walk of Fame back probably about 8 years ago, and now Burt Ward is being placed next to him, and also Batman, the character himself, will be getting a star upcoming on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, along with some other stars like Lawrence Fishburne, Julia Roberts, which I was really surprised wasn't actually already on the Walk of Fame, Chris Hemsworth, Dr. Phil, Billy Idol, also kind of surprised that he wasn't already on there, 50 Cent, and a bunch more people. So, and I was kind of surprised by those few that weren't on there. And so I looked up some of the other names that don't actually appear on the Walk of Fame. And I think Brad Pitt, Al Pacino, and Dan Aykroyd kind of jumped out at me. and I was really surprised about that. Ghost, what is your reaction to the list of people going on, and is there anybody that isn't on there that you would like to see honored in that way?
So as far as the whole star celebrity, what is it called?
The Hollywood Walk of Fame?
Thank you. I had to reread. Um, so as far as like Brad Pitt and Angelina Jolie, they were just never nominated.
Mhm.
And everybody that's nominated, I was reading a little bit that everyone that was nominated doesn't always go through with it. They don't accept it.
Right.
And I can understand why after reading into it is they have to pay $40,000 for the star to be maintained for the next several years.
Yeah.
$40,000 right up front. I was like, oh. And usually the people that nominate them are the ones that are supposed to pay that 40,000.
Right.
And I mean, it's not always the case, but I mean, it'd be kind of cool. I mean, if I ever became famous, I know it's not going to happen, but you know, I mean, if I were to grow up in that age where I did become famous, a big movie actor or things like something like that, I think it'd be kind of cool to leave a little star behind and a Hollywood Walk of Fame and everything like that. I think it would be just enjoyable.
So, official Rogue, will you be nominating Eminent Stump after his acting in Red Baron for a Hollywood star? No.
I give it a 2 out of
You give it
10.
a 2 out of 10. Ouch. Ouch.
Ah,
Poor acting. Get good scrub. That's all I have to say. Look out for-
If I could come up with the $40,000, I would nominate you. Just so
I
you know,
appreciate
so,
that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So, any reaction to the list of people there?
I will say that I think it is just appalling that there is even a single Ghostbuster that does not have a star on the Walk of Fame. That is just
not to
wrong.
mention Blues Brother and one of the original SNL cast members. I mean, we're talking
true. I mean, like that's a star right there.
big
That's a
star.
Hollywood star.
Yeah.
Whose hands are they going to use for Batman? Like,
well, now this is the star. I don't think this is the.
I thought they always were accompanied by the handprints, weren't they? Or am I wrong?
The Batman logo.
Yeah,
I
maybe.
thought it was
Yeah,
the
there you go.
hands, too.
Maybe it is. I could be wrong.
I mean, maybe they do something else, but
Rotbot1, thank you for that Twitch Prime sub. That's much appreciated. I don't know. Who's currently geared up to play the next Batman? Maybe they'll use them.
is it still Batfleck?
I think they got rid of him.
Well,
Did
he was
they?
the last one.
True.
I know that there's
Yeah, Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. There you go.
But he hasn't
Oh.
actually been one yet. He hasn't actually.
Yeah, maybe is he already on there? Because maybe that's the they should Geek Stuff. You are definitely right. They should use Kevin Conroy. If anybody deserves to put their hands down as Batman, it is definitely Kevin Conroy.
I mean, you could make a
He's
case
the
for Adam
voice
West.
Well, yeah, I think.
But he's already got him.
Yeah, he's already got one. And did he pass away?
I think so.
So, so on to our last little bit of news, and this is I thought this was really, really interesting. So everybody knows Disney Plus is making kind of a big splash with their Mandalorian show, but they also have some other Star Wars stuff coming up. A Star Wars game show that is actually going to be hosted by Jar Jar Binks actor Ahmed Best is coming to D+, and it will be called Star Wars Jedi Temple Challenge. Jar Jar Binks, as any Star Wars fan knows, the character has kind of had the unfortunate distinction of being the most hated Star Wars character of all time. But contestants on the show will compete in the Jedi principles of bravery, strength, and knowledge, with the aim being to achieve the rank of Jedi Knight. Contestants will be challenged by a variety of obstacles in their pursuit to achieve the ultimate Star Wars status. So I thought this was pretty neat. So my first question is the redemption arc coming for Ahmed Best to kind of make up for Jar Jar Binks? And Official Rogue, are you planning on competing on the Jedi Temple Challenge?
110%. I mean, it'll probably be for kids.
Yeah.
Knowing those guys.
You don't have any facial hair. It's fine.
Yeah, I could pass for a kid. I could shave. I mean, I don't know if you can see it. Probably not. I mean, it's barely there.
Is that one Clancy?
But yeah, no. Yeah, I would be 100% down for that. That'd be fun as anything. I mean, I've always wanted to be sort of involved in Star Wars in some way. I mean, before this came about to the Twitch scene and all that stuff, I really wanted to go over to Disneyland in Florida for a season and probably do my try at the Star Wars acting stuff, all that stuff, which was actually a strong option for me for quite a bit of time because I absolutely love Star Wars. Disney World, I mean, I don't know where it is. Orlando, I think it is. Or is that the same thing? I don't know. I don't know America. I've never been. But yeah, I'd be 100% down for it. As for Jar Jar Binks, he's not the worst Star Wars character. I'm saying that out there right now.
Wow.
Not the worst.
Who is the worst? He was
Good
very,
question.
very, very
Child
hated.
Anakin.
Child Anakin.
He
Okay.
was atrocious. Any sort of child in the prequel, it was atrocious. They were all just terrible. I think Jar Jar Binks, I think because the prequels failed so badly, I think everything was kind of shoved into him, which I don't think it should have been. I think he was an alright addition. I mean, they could have toned him down a little bit, which they didn't. But like, he actually matured towards the end, which was actually quite nice to see. But like, we look back at the prequels now, and they're not that bad. They're memed, like to hell, but they're actually not that bad. You go back and look at it, you can watch the prequels. I mean,
Mhm.
the storyline's a little bit janky, and looking at the effects, you know, if it was made in this day and age, I think they could have really done a good job with it. I mean, because
Yeah.
look how far virtual effects have come. Yeah, going back to the question, the Jedi Temple, I was reading about that. I would like to go. Unfortunately, I only think it'll be for children and in America. So if I could turn back time, as Cher once said, and fly over to America, I would definitely.
I know if it was a trivia based show, you would do very well.
Oh, I'll be all over it.
So, Ghost, do you have any thoughts on the show, and what do you think of Disney Plus overall, and kind of what they're doing with their original content?
As far as the show, did they clarify if it was for kids or for?
I believe it's going to be. I think it's pretty much.
Grown-ass adults play it.
Yeah.
Well, I gotta go ahead and start training my kids for that then.
Yeah, there you go.
But Disney Plus overall, I love it. My kids love it. There's even a profile setting on there for kids itself. So I mean, you don't have to worry about them watching something that they're not supposed to or anything
Sure.
else like that. I mean, I still monitor everything that they watch, of course. But I think it's become a really good thing. Except for my youngest daughter does not want to watch anything else other than Lion King or Beauty and the Beast. She's like, Beast. Oh my goodness, here we go again.
You know, it's funny, when we were kids, my brother loved The Lion King so much, and I got tired of watching it that I actually hid the VHS tape. If any of you out there are old enough to remember a VHS tape, but yeah, I'm lucky. Charlotte has not gotten obsessed with anything on there yet, but she did actually really love Baby Yoda on The Mandalorian. So
Nice.
who doesn't, right? Stump, are you excited? Is this something, as a Star Wars fan, that you'll be watching, even if it is for kids?
Oh, for sure. I'll definitely check it out. I mean, for me, I look at it as like a mixture of Star Wars and Legends of the Hidden Temple.
that was kind of my first thought when I saw the
And-
headline about it.
I mean, I think anybody our age, and I don't know if that was, it was Nickelodeon, right? So you might have seen some of that, right? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, from the right time period, you're going to have that nostalgia, and it's going to be blended with Star Wars. So you're just, if it comes across that way, I think it's going to be adored.
Yeah.
Which is, and I will say that Disney Plus is kind of they've done a hell of a job so far. Sorry, heck of a job so far, and it's barely been off my TV since my wife decided we needed it.
I kind of hope they train them in lightsaber battle. Like that is what I
That'll be a
really want to
thing.
see.
I will cringe. If she gets that. I'll be like, that's not how you do the
Wrong
not
form,
for free.
wrong form.
What form is that?
All right, guys. So thank you so much, all of you, for being here tonight. Is there anything that you guys want to plug? We'll start with you, Ghost.
Ghost Fighter X1, Twitch TV. Back to streaming real soon. Definitely within, you know what? I'm gonna call it a week.
Cool. Make sure you follow him on Twitter for that update, and we'll find out exactly
Yes.
when he's going to be going live. Official Rogue. What would
Yeah.
you like to plug?
Just myself. The official Rogue, officially Rogue on Facebook and Twitter. Please follow me. I need fans and friends. I will be back streaming soon, I swear. As soon as I get moved. I mean, I'm thinking of doing a couple of streams before I go. But yeah, I'll be back hardcore in it when I get moved, because I'll be living by myself. I'll have the freedom to shout and scream at all manner. As you could probably tell already, I'm not shouting and screaming right now because people are asleep in the house.
Because it's 3 a.m.
Exactly, for me anyway.
Yeah.
But like, I can do whatever I want when I'm living by myself, and I can't wait. So please do follow me on everywhere and everything, because I swear I post okay content sometimes.
I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to those Rocket League streams once
Oh,
you can
yes, yes.
throw a temper tantrum. Eminent Stump, you want to talk a little bit about what we got coming up with more episodes of Red Baron?
Yep, I'll do that. So Zazabu and myself did make a YouTube video that what we're looking forward to making a lot more of, which you guys should check out and keep tuned for more.
Yeah, you can find that on the Elevate YouTube channel. It is the last video that was posted. So go check that out. So coming up, we've got some exciting stuff. Look out for Mixer Monday, starting probably around 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to be streaming some Mixer games, just kind of making our foray over there. And did I say foray? I meant foray into the Mixer world. And so we're gonna be mixing it up, if you will, and playing some different games. Sea of Thieves, maybe some Rocket League, some other things. And also make sure you tune into this channel on Wednesday nights at 7 p.m. for Walt Wednesday. We actually have a wonderful Disney talk show hosted by Jazzo Joe and Bramibe. They go through sort of Disney news. They'll talk about Disney Plus, and then they'll get into a specific movie, and they'll talk about kind of the origins of the story, as well as design choices maybe made for the Disney movie. They'll do some trivia, and they'll talk to you guys in chat. So make sure you check that out. That's 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yeah, make sure you tune in. Hit that follow button if you haven't already, and make sure you get an alert when we go live on Wednesday night. Next week, we will be joined by Bramibe, actually, one of the hosts of Walt Wednesday. We have community member Symphonic313. He's a streamer. He does a lot of sort of platformer type games and speedruns. And we also have the variety streamer, Hey Mr. Tofu, who's in the chat. He is a good buddy of ours and a wonderful member of our community. So we'll be talking to those guys next week. And I look forward to seeing you. Make sure you check out elevatestreams.com. And if you are interested in some Elevate merch, we have elevatethestore.com. You can go get your Zazzy Shark shirts for your little ones, and maybe a matching one for yourself. So until next time, it's been wonderful talking to you guys. Thank you very much again. And we will see you next week. Goodbye and good night. Bang.